Yes, there was a question.
We was there the next day.
Did you see her the next day?
No, but our presence was well known because I had to move out of the road every time. We came from where the other plus we tore up, changed 3 culverts.
Oh, really?
Because she lives very close to Exeter's, where you said you were working on the culvert, so.
She's down the road.
Before his place,
No, kind of towards the end.
Past it, yeah, it's the one with the diamonds, the black diamonds. Yeah, it was so funny, it was like, nobody has ever asked a question,
Ever, yeah.
and one
Should
time
not.
he's not here, the road
Well,
commissioners ask questions.
Murphy's Law.
right, that's how it happens, and I was sad that I missed the presentation for Dennis. I did call him and talk to him.
Oh,
Good,
well, that's
good.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, he had a nice little crowd, I was glad to see that people had come to see him.
just for that, yeah, that was nice.
And somebody showed me some pictures, maybe it was you or something of
The crowd,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep, that's right, I showed them Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Dennis's little speech.
Oh,
the, road reserve.
yeah.
yes, yes. All right, it is 7 o'clock, and I would just like to acknowledge Brian and Charlotte Bunyan, who are here tonight, April. And in the audience so far, we have Jim Croma. And maybe we'll have Gary and Adam show up. They did come last week again.
Yeah, I see him.
All right,
Oh, and there's cookies over there too.
yes, you missed them last week, so there's some leftovers there. I put mine in the freezer and they're always still good. All right, I'd like to move to approve some warrants. I'd like to make a motion that we approve payroll for payroll number 43 for $1,907.06. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
All right,
Thank you. I'd like to move to accept accounts payable number 44 for $19,205.98. Do I have a second on that one?
second.
And all in favor?
All right,
And I just want to say for the record that almost 14,000 of that was for the plowing contract.
Getting ready.
Yep. In fact, I saw, just before I came here, I was looking at the weather and it said, snow flurries.
Yeah.
Did you guys see it?
Really?
Yeah, it was 38 degrees, but snow flurries. Yeah. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes for October 23rd, 2023 select board meeting. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
all right.
All right, good for you. All right, we'll sign those and get that done. Citizens issues. Any citizens issue? Brian? Nope.
Nope, I'm good.
Great, all right. Done with that. All right, any update on roads? You were busy last week, Jim?
Just Beaver, couple signs, I put up a couple signs.
For the beavers to stay away?
No, I haven't got them ones yet. We did some work on Bay Shore Road, changed 3 culverts, ditched. I didn't measure how much we ditched, but we ditched what I felt was crucial as of right now. DOT's been contacted about the trees on the main road.
And the response was?
Slim to none. They're gonna have a tree crew in the area this fall. Couldn't narrow it down any more than that. I trimmed a couple trees back on North End Road and Saltville Road that might hinder snow plowing. And I took our contractor around Sunday and spent 4 hours in conversation and rode all the roads down here. He made me drive his truck that he bought this summer and
Are you jealous?
no, I drive the same thing at work.
Okay,
Same,
okay.
pretty much the same setup.
Okay,
So it was, that was good. And sand is in the small sand shed now.
Oh, great, I hadn't seen that, great. So we need to figure out, maybe we'll talk about that Thursday, is figure out a strategy for how, we need to make a sign.
Yeah.
And just, I think our policy will be 2 bucket loads per storm. And we'll try not to have to monitor it. That's our hope.
I'm hoping, there's one other thing. Oh, I noticed the Bay Shore Road sign was missing when I was working down there, so I ordered one. The post was bent over and the boat broke off, so I took that out. I'm gonna relocate it to the south side of the road where the other sign is, when I get the sign.
And where was that again?
Bay Shore Road.
Bay Shore. Okay.
Any indication what happened?
No, I mean, it was leaning over, which a lot of them are from being hit with snowplows and stuff. I looked around in the bushes, cause sometimes, when nothing's going. That's why I think the other side of the road would be a better location for it, cause then they can push all the snow down there.
Mhm.
Nobody likes a sign that's like this,
Mhm.
Especially me.
So would it be on the side where the mailboxes are?
It'd be on the south side of Bay Shore Road,
Okay, yep.
right where their unofficial.
Mhm. Yes,
Bay Shore Road
yes.
sign is.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Well, thank you so much for taking Dale around.
Yep.
It's about time to be ready for
Oh, yeah.
winter.
And this is partially my fault from putting it off, and it's like, I haven't rode the roads in 2 weeks. Let's make it Sunday, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I did get a call about Junction Road way down, it needs some gravel put in there. Same on Eloise Drive. And the pothole's still gonna be addressed, but it's hard when it's raining every day and
Did the cold patch?
nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
All right, any correspondence? Did you see anything? I didn't see anything.
No, I think I'll bring up stuff under administrative.
Yeah, okay, nothing on court. All right, we have some administrative items. First one that I have on the list is the Shellfish Committee. We have an unofficial resignation from Julie Casson and a new volunteer, Kevin McMahon, who is going to be joining. We don't have the paperwork for that quite yet, but I'd like to make a motion to approve Kevin as a new volunteer on the committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A second? Go ahead.
No, I just sort of say Kevin's been helpful at times with waterfront issues. He has owns the island off the south end.
Oh, he and I went together with Evan to check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who he,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah, very nice.
again, he's
Yeah.
another good, and hopefully will be a good volunteer.
Yep, he knows it, the water for sure. Yep, yep. Also, the Shellfish Committee asked us, they're looking for approval to seed McCarty Cove in the spring with, I think, 10,000 little tiny seedlings again. I don't know who's counting those, but they ask for the board's approval. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve them doing their seeding in the spring. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. When I was on the committee, we did seeding. I think we had like 45,000 little tiny characters that, tiny critters. One of my questions on the admin item was if, April, if you had any updates that you want to share about the web, because I think you guys had a meeting, tech meeting, if anything kept come of that yet.
No,
No,
I don't
that's
really
fine.
have a lot of updates at this point. We've still been gathering information and getting steamrolled by this upcoming election, honestly, so
Yeah.
may have to put it on the back burner until we get through this, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
It'd
before
be
you know it.
entirely reasonable to
Yeah,
wait until
I
after the
know.
election.
Yeah, there are priorities. Yeah, yeah. That's all I had on my list for admin items.
Oh, I have one.
April?
So this is a formality, but the select board is supposed to approve my choice of a election warden before I appoint that person. So Joan Mason Bradford has offered to do it this year. I'm really grateful for that. Carolyn Schaefer's done it a lot in the past, but she is traveling, so Joan helped Carolyn last time, and I think
Oh, that's great.
it'll be a good way to reinforce that.
Yeah.
And she's the election administrator.
The warden, yeah,
The
so
warden.
I mean,
that's
essentially,
right.
it's a really important role.
Yeah.
She's in charge of sort of securing the voting place and making sure ballot box is empty before the ballots start going in and sort of tallying the final results, so.
Yeah, I remember Steve used to do that, Steve Arsenault. So, go ahead.
Just has there been a fair amount of early voting in this election yet?
Yeah, I don't know the numbers exactly. I think I have about 50 requests out and 20 something back.
Okay.
So, my off the cuff sense is that it's not quite as much as in June, but still pretty robust. So yeah.
Good.
Oh, okay, I thought you were gonna
Interject
say,
that.
yeah, so we need to make a motion to accept Joan Bradford as election warden. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, okay, and you had something?
The webinar that I wanted to attend. So, MMA is offering a webinar on the 16th. ABCs of assessing for non-assessors. And I would like to attend that. I don't know if I can tell you to sign up or.
Oh, you're asking me?
Well, no, I'm
Yes.
just mentioning it, so I don't know if I should tell Ashley or,
You,
or
actually,
email
I
Ashley.
think you can sign up yourself, but we
Yeah.
can help you too, so.
Oh, I can do it. I just didn't know how the payment worked.
You go right in there and
And
you
they'll
can
just bill us?
yeah, and
Okay.
they'll
The
build.
bill of the town.
Oh, okay, then I'll just do it myself then. Okay, good.
Jeff, anything to add to admin?
Yeah, so a couple things I wanted to touch on, or actually the main thing I want to touch on is, again, going back to the revaluation of real property. So I did some investigating, some additional investigating. Actually, yesterday, was able to talk with Dave King, who's the chair of the select board Woolwich, and has been for some years. Woolwich, I found out last week, has just signed a contract with an assessing firm to do their revaluation. And it's for the April 2024. So they're starting now because that firm because it'll take them over a year to get their property done. One thing I learned from Dave was that there's commonly several different options that an assessing firm can give you in terms of what you want to get done, and that's going to affect the price. So you could simply have them do a reassessment based primarily on the data they've already got, the property cards, and just go out and maybe check some things, the exceptions, but they could do, it's more of a desk, very thorough. They'll look at everything, but they might not, actually go out and check every property. So that would be one. The other extreme would be you have them, and they'd be checking into every single outbuilding and measuring every single outbuilding all over again. And also going into the properties and looking at the quality of construction. So that's a very intrusive and intensive.
And costly, I bet.
And more costly. So that's kind of the extremes, and someplace in the middle. Woolwich is actually doing a little bit more than the minimum. They actually did want to get all their outbuildings checked at least, but they're not going whole hog, but they are at least going back. Partially it's because it's been 14 years since they did their last revaluation. They've been able to get that far because whenever they need to, they also, just like us, are facing the difficulty of having, with sales, the state valuation ratio, they're getting, out of whack with that. And again, Woolwich has a lot of short-term property, very, very similar to us. So what they've done is they have an assessor that they've hired, who actually is also the assessor for 3 other towns. So she splits her time amongst the towns, and she also then would do, if need be annually, the factoring analysis So that means sitting down and saying, well, where's this increase coming from? So looking at the sales and saying, I think it's coming from, maybe it's shorefront, or maybe there's a real demand for two-bedroom houses. But she'll look for factors that look like they're more where the demand is coming from. And so rather than, as we did, factoring everybody up equally, this is when say, okay, these properties look like they're having the big increase in sales. Let's maybe factor them up more, and not so much others. So that's, I guess, a standard practice for assessors to do that analysis. We've got the time to do that, since we know now that our valuation for this coming year is going to be about $45 million more than the current valuation. So we're facing, again, not being at 100%, but we've got time now to do that factoring analysis and do this more strategically. And I guess ultimately we want it to be more fair. We want to make sure that we're being as fair as possible to the townsfolk in doing that. But that's short of doing a full revaluation. So that was good. We've got the example, they've been doing it, it's worked for them. They avoided the mess of Brunswick, where they, wait a long time and all of a sudden, boom, it's a major
thing.
mess.
Yep.
So we chatted a little bit about the craziness there. That's part of what I learned from Dave. And it says, we need to make sure we plan this as one of the key things we do this year is this factory analysis. We need to be monitoring the sales information that we get from the state, as well as, because there we can see the pricing. When we see the transfers, we don't just see the pricing, but at least with the state transfer tax information, we see the pricing. So we can we've got the data we need to do that factoring analysis. So that should help. But on assessing, I also talked with Justin Poyer, who's the town manager in Monmouth. And he was recommended to me by the MMA as kind of like a recognized expert on revaluations. And as it turns out, he's also part of the firm that's going to be doing Woolwich. So it's kind of interesting. I heard about Woolwich from two different sources. But he gave me some good coaching about how we need to approach this. One piece of coaching was that we're probably too late for 2025.
Yeah.
I got that.
And that's partially because the revaluation firms, the assessing firms, are mostly small outfits, the ones in Maine. They have it's a part-time job. In the case of his firm, it's his wife and I think his in-laws are the primary players. And he's got a full-time job, his wife's got a full-time. So they do this as something part-time, which is why they're gonna do this over the next year plus for Woolwich. Also means they can't take on a lot of work. So he said we might be able to get some interest from a larger firm, but most larger ones are coming from out of state.
And probably gonna cost a lot more.
Well, that's likely to be the case. And how a larger firm might do is they might have people here 5 days a week and and kind of living here, whereas the part-time guys are driving down. So you've got your different types of expenses, but that I wanted to do some more digging, call up some of the firms and really actually just check to see if there's any hope of 2025, but I think this may mean that we're going to need to plan for 2026.
Seems like it might be good to try to piggyback on whoever, as soon as he finishes Woolwich, grab him and say, okay, now it's our turn.
Could be.
Especially if they like him.
Factoring analysis, at least.
Any cost estimates, off the cuff, cost estimates of a revaluation for West Woolwich?
It's the we spent $46,000 in 2015.
And that was a complete rebuild.
That was a complete rebuild, but I don't think it was super intrusive. But
So this is something we have to think about too for our warrant and whatnot and plan for it. So probably it would be good if it's not 2025, but
But could we do something with that stopgap
the factory analysis.
Yeah, well, the fact is, we may,
Meantime.
maybe do it this,
Yeah.
we know we gotta do it this year.
Yeah.
We may need to do it, well, probably we'll need to do it the next year if
Yeah.
prices keep going up
Mhm.
on property values. But as a little more, Jim's, I got various kind of ballpark ranges. But I think $100 a property might not be, it might go up that high, hopefully put a bit lower, because what we were paying in 2015 was closer to around
45?
45
45.
bucks a property.
And how many properties did we say we had?
Well, I'm guessing it gets about 900. That's one of the things I'll want to nail down with Ashley and with Evan, just the number of parcels that would need to be assessing. But that's, so you're talking about $90,000.
I'm just curious, you know,
Yeah,
I figured it'd be 100 grand or so, you know.
Yeah, and every year gets more expensive, everything does,
Oh,
so
everything
we can't
does,
compare it
you
to,
know, but it's not as staggering as I thought it was gonna be,
Mhm.
you know. I was thinking, going to every house and, you know, looking in the cabinets, that's gonna be $250 a property.
right,
Again, talking with Justin, he said that the challenge we're seeing where it's difficult to take our assessing criteria from 2015, because we're supposed to apply the same criteria to be consistent. And with new construction, with high-end new construction, says it's not just our problem. We had the example of one property here where our assessment is close to $1 million, but we're hearing the building cost is $4 million. So big delta. He says it's a problem in general. So that's one of the things that when we evaluate someone to do the job for us is just how they would approach that. How can they, because we have, not every town has got the diversity of property that we do. We want to make sure that we properly value the high-end stuff and keep the burden on everybody else down. Other things that he suggested to look at was chemistry. Because you're gonna be working with these people for a year plus, and you wanna know that you trust them and you can work. So he recommended actually, if we do an RFP,
Do interviews.
to do interviews, down select to a couple and do interviews
Yeah.
and see who we're most comfortable with. Let's see, we should be looking at examples of the price codes, just how they value the properties. This goes back to the question about how to make sure that they can handle high-end properties as well as simpler properties. So look at some examples of how they've done that in the past. And the fact is they document, part of it is we don't want something that's so complicated that we can't keep doing it.
Yes.
So we want something that's works, but can be manageable. So we may be looking for the impossible dream, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's part of the factors being coached on what we wanna be looking for.
Mhm.
So I think what I'd like to do, I'll keep checking in and try to get more info from some of the other firms. And then in a week or two, we'll come back and with maybe a draft RFP.
yeah,
that
we've
we
been
can look
talking
at.
about doing that.
Yeah, so we have something we can look at and see whether we feel good about that RFP. But I think we do want to get this out this fall, so that we have something in the works. We absolutely need to have the pricing, because we need to be putting money away for town meetings in the
Exactly,
future.
yeah, yep, which is why I think it may be good to wait another year. Get the RFP out now, get somebody hired, and they may be able to even give us an idea of what it might cost down the line. What their going rate is for per property or whatever.
What we raised at the last town meeting for the revive,
I think we put in another 10,000.
10,
So we already had a fund, I think, so we may be up to 20.
That's not very much.
I should know it, but
Yeah.
right, but, you know, if you're gonna do it 2 years down the road.
We can do a little
obviously,
bit each year, yep,
You'd split them.
Yeah.
You know, take what you short and split it, I hate to see too much all in 1 year.
yep, which is why I think would be good to wait another year too. Because I think it would be a lot. Anything else, Jeff?
I think that covers the assessing.
And April, did you see that we had a new guest? John Henderson is now on as well.
Great, I did not see, I'm actually in the Zoom, so thank you.
Ah, okay. Anything else other than the reval then for admin? Nope, all right. Any legal business, any other legal business? We're working on some things, but nothing that we're willing to share right now. Nothing for you, okay.
No.
In that case, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. John, sorry you joined us so late. But nice to know it's an early
A
night,
quickie.
yeah.
Well, I should have joined sooner. I'm sorry. I completely.
You can watch the Zoom,
Yeah,
watch the recording.
yeah, we lost you.
Just one thing.
Just for a sec.
Uh,